Hello and welcome to 2CrazyMedia. I'm your host Matthew, and today I'll be going over the biggest movies coming out in May 2026. I did a very similar thing but with video games on Tuesday where I went over literally every single game coming out next month of May 2026. Every single video game, like every single one on every day. It was a lot. This one's going to be a little different where instead of going over every single movie, I'm just going to be going over some of the biggest ones. So if I miss any, let me know in the comments below, but I'm going to be going over what at least I deem to be like ones that I should talk about or should let you know, because they will either have a good word of mouth, or a lot of people are going to see it, or just going to be a big thing, or maybe something that I've heard of that may not be as big, and I'm like, I've heard of that, I heard it's good, I recommend it. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be as of recording April 30th. These dates can change. Dates don't change for movies as much as they do video games. It's more of a video game thing than movies, but you never know. A movie could get added, a movie could get taken out, so just a disclaimer. But yeah, so let's just jump straight into it with the first movie going in order of release date. We're going to start off May 1st, so literally tomorrow, The Devil Wears Prada 2. This is a sequel, or sort of a legacy sequel to the first Devil Wears Prada movie, which came out many, many years ago. It's a movie I hadn't seen until just earlier this year, and I actually really liked it. I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did, but I had a great time, honestly, with it, and I am actually now really looking forward to Devil Wears Prada 2. It is being directed by David Frankel, who directed the first one. It is obviously starring the exact same cast as the first movie, so Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, Stanley Tucci, and a couple new cast members as well. It currently has a 79 on Rotten Tomatoes, which I believe is higher than the first one, so that's really cool. And just to kind of read a little synopsis. Miranda Priestley struggles against Emily Charlton, her former assistant turned rival executive, as they compete for advertising revenue amid declining print media while Miranda nears retirement. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I already have tickets for this movie. I am seeing it this weekend, so I should have a review, or at least I should be seeing it this weekend, and I should have a review on the channel maybe Tuesday, maybe sometime next week. So yeah, stay tuned for a review for Devil Wears Prada 2 on the channel. It's something interesting. It's not something I would usually talk about on the channel, but low-key, I'm excited for this movie, and it's probably going to do really well in the box office this weekend. So I am looking forward to it. So yeah, that's May 1st. And then coming out the same day on May 1st, we have Hokum. This is a new horror movie directed by Damian McCarthy, and it is starring Adam Scott. It currently has an 87 on Rotten Tomatoes, and the synopsis reads, when novelist Ohm Bauman retreats to a remote inn to scatter his parents' ashes, he's consumed by tales of a witch that haunts the honeymoon suite. Soon, disturbing visions and a shocking disappearance force him to confront dark corners of his past. I've seen a lot of people talking about this one, at least in the horror community, because that's a community I very much follow. I love horror movies like this, and this is one that people have said to be like really good but really scary, like one of the scariest movies of the year, of the last few years. People have said this is absolutely terrifying in the best way possible. I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if I'm gonna see it anytime soon or wait till it's on a streamer, but at least from the trailers, it looks terrifying. The sort of witch monsters that they have going on looks really creepy. I think this movie looks really, really cool. I hope it does well. I hope people really enjoy it. I hope it makes a lot of money, but yeah, this seems like one of those really cool, like smaller budget, like horror films that like, I know it went through like the festival cycle and people really loved it from there, so that's why like I know like people really liked it at like a lot of the festivals, so hopefully it does well finally in theaters. So yeah, Hokum, May 1st. Alrighty, on to May 8th, the next weekend, we've got The Sheep Detectives. This is being directed by Kyle Balda. It is starring Hugh Jackman, Nicholas Galitzine, Emma Thompson, Molly Gordon, Nicholas Braun, and Brett Goldstein. It has currently, as of now, a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes, so really, really good. And the synopsis reads, George Hardy is a shepherd who loves to read murder mysteries to his sheep, never suspecting that they can understand him. When George is found dead under mysterious circumstances, the sheep decide to solve the crime themselves. even if it means leaving their meadow for the first time and facing the fact that the human world isn't as simple as it appears in books. This is one before that I had no interest in seeing. I had seen the trailer in theaters a few times, and I'm like, okay, it's the movie with like the talking animated sheep, and their shepherd, played by Hugh Jackman, gets murdered all of a sudden, and they have to like solve the murder mystery, and it's like a murder mystery with sheep. And I'm like, I'm probably not gonna see it. But honestly, the reviews kind of have me interested. 94 on Rotten Tomatoes is insanely good. And so people have been saying this is just a ton of fun. It's a real blast, and it's got a lot of good heart and all that stuff. And so I'm interested now. I don't know if I'm really going to see this in theaters, since there's a couple other stuff coming out on May 8th that I'm a little more interested in. But still though, this could be good. Hopefully it does well. This seems like a film that wouldn't do too well in theaters, just because it's not a big franchise movie or a big blockbuster or something like that. But with how good the reviews are, maybe word of mouth will kind of push it forward a little bit more. So yeah, that's The Sheep Detectives, coming May 8th. Then, up next, coming also same day, May 8th, we have Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour live in 3D. This is being directed by James Cameron, and this is a very different this is very similar to like the Eras Tour film, where this is just literally like a film of Billie Eilish's Hit Me Hard and Soft tour, like a concert, and just added with like documentary moments and like interviews and stuff like that. Being directed by James Cameron, which is crazy. It's wild that we're getting a James Cameron movie this month, and it happens to be a concert movie about Billie Eilish, who is one of my favorite music artists. I don't think this is one I'm going to see in theaters, only for the reason that I was there in person for the tour. I went to see the Hit Me Hard and Soft tour. It was fantastic, one of the best concerts I've ever been to. And so I don't know if I need to watch it again in theaters when I was there in person. I experienced it all. I have the videos on my phone. I don't need to see it in the theater, but it was still a great concert, and like the visuals and everything was one of my favorite parts of the concert. So that's why I think like it would work really well as a movie, just because the visuals were fantastic and really cool, and like obviously I love Billie Eilish and her music and all that stuff. I hope it's good. It's cool that they're doing it in 3D. It's a little different. Obviously James Cameron likes to be different and likes to do cool stuff with like movie tech and all that stuff. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a cool combination of someone who is so big in the music realm and someone who is so big in the film realm, and two people that very much like to almost experiment in their two different areas of expertise, and kind of coming together to create a really cool like concert movie, tour movie, documentary. Sounds awesome. I've seen the trailer a few times in theaters now, and I think every time I'm like, wow, if I wasn't there and didn't see the concert in person, I would be in theaters for this. Like, this looks awesome. So highly recommend, if you didn't go to the concert, or you did and you want to relive it again, or you just like Billie Eilish, I would highly recommend. I think this is going to be pretty cool. So yeah, really cool. Love Billie Eilish. So glad to see this happening. And then the final movie I want to talk about coming May 8th is Mortal Kombat 2. This is being directed by Simon McQuoid, who directed the first Mortal Kombat movie that came out like during COVID. It is starring Carl Urban, who is going to be playing Johnny Cage, which is awesome. I think great casting. Like Loki, I know there are a lot of names thrown out for casting for Johnny Cage, but I think Carl Urban works really well. Seeing him in the trailers and stuff, I think he fits Johnny Cage well. Johnny Cage is like my favorite, or one of my favorite Mortal Kombat characters, so I think it's a cool fit. It's also starring Louis Tan as Cole Young, somehow returning. Who knows? I don't really like Cole Young. I don't think most people care for Cole Young, so we'll see how big of a part he has in the second film. We also have Hiroyuki Sanada, Tati Gabrielle, Adeline Rudolph, and Jesse McNamee. So most of the cast from the first film, plus like Carl Urban as Johnny Cage, which is super cool. Reading the synopsis, Johnny Cage joins other fighters in the ultimate no-holds-barred battle to defeat the dark rule of Shao Kahn, a powerful tyrant who threatens the very existence of the Earthrealm and its defenders. So, seems like they're taking out the fluff and the parts from the first film that people didn't really care about, and just getting it straight into what we want, which is just some great, awesome Mortal Kombat fighting moments. I think some of the fight scenes and stuff are the best parts of the first Mortal Kombat movie that came out a few years ago, and I think just kind of focusing on that heavily. While yes, for some people will be like, oh, this is all too much fighting and nothing else, and no substance. It's like, that's what I'm going to see the movie for. So honestly, this is one of those movies where I don't really care. I don't care if the story is meh, or if the dialogue is bad, or if it like flows really badly, or anything like that. I don't really care about any of that. I'm there for the Mortal Kombat of it all, for the fighting and the fatalities and all that stuff, because that's what Mortal Kombat is, and that's low-key what the best part of the first film was. So I've just heard from people that have seen the movie already that's what this movie is. It just puts much more emphasis on that, and I'm happy about that. I'm all in for that. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping I enjoy it. I liked the first one. It was fine. It wasn't like anything amazing. The best part, again, were the fight scenes and the Mortal Kombat-esque moments. So hopefully this one is good. May 8th. Looking forward to it. Alrighty. For May 15th, we've got the first movie is In the Gray. This is a new Guy Ritchie movie. I guess you'd say the yearly Guy Ritchie generic looking action film, which I would agree with. I've seen a few Guy Ritchie movies. I saw that one from a few years ago, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare or something. I didn't like it that much. I thought it was just meh. I think honestly every Guy Ritchie movie I've seen has just been meh. I've heard there are good ones. I guess I haven't seen the good ones yet. I'm open to watching the good ones because I do like action movies, but just the ones I've seen so far I've just been eh. And he releases a new one like every year, and they're all so forgettable. But this is his new one, In the Gray, starring Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Isaac Gonzalez. So a good cast. I like all three of them. And the synopsis reads, In the Gray follows a covert team of elite operatives who live in the global shadows, as comfortable wielding power and influence as they are automatic weapons and high explosives. When a ruthless despot steals $1 billion fortune, the team is sent to steal it back on what would be for anyone else a suicide mission. What begins as an impossible heist gets much worse, spiraling out into an all-out war of strategy, deception, and survival. Sorry, a sort of confusing synopsis at the beginning, but if you haven't seen the trailer yet, go watch it. I haven't seen the trailer in theaters yet, but I saw it on my phone when it first came out, and people were talking about it. It looked fun, honestly. I think in a fun way of it's a Guy Ritchie movie, and they all look fun from the trailer, but are pretty forgettable when you see the movie and leave the theater. I don't know if this is the one I'm going to see, like a lot of them. I think if I'm not doing anything on May 15th and I'm free, maybe I'll go buy a ticket to go see In the Gray. That's the nice part of having AMC A-List, is that I don't need to spend money for movie tickets. So it could just, but I don't know. I just want to point this one out because it's a Guy Ritchie movie with a pretty cool cast, and I like some scenes from the trailer, and some I'm like, okay, but I'm still just burnt from, it's Guy Ritchie, so you kind of know what to expect going into it. Alrighty, and then the second movie I want to talk about coming May 15th is Obsession. This is another kind of like Hokum, another smaller horror movie that had a great festival run. It went through a bunch of like film festivals, and at every single one, people loved it. This got the talk. This was like the talk of so many different festivals. People were talking all about this movie, this new Obsession film from Curry Barker. I believe Blumhouse picked it up, if I'm not mistaken. And so, yeah, it's directed by Curry Barker, who started out just making YouTube videos, which is so cool. He kind of follows the path of a lot of directors and filmmakers we've seen recently who started out as YouTubers. Obviously, Markiplier being the big example, who did Iron Lung. Jacksepticeye is going to be producing the Bloodborne movie, and so many other. You have Danny and Michael Philippou, who started out doing like Raka Raka on YouTube, and now they've directed a bunch of fantastic horror movies. And there's so many more other, like Kane Parsons, who wrote I'll talk about later. Actually, I'll get into him later in the video. But yeah, it's just awesome to kind of see this pipeline and these YouTubers that like people like myself have grown up with, now getting into filmmaking and really becoming like being. Although I personally consider them to be like, I think of them as like serious like people and like people who have made art and like film and like YouTube, and like I find that to be like important for me, but obviously for like the wider audience it's not. And so to kind of be looked on this almost this light of like, yeah, taken seriously now is really cool. It is starring Michael Johnston and Indy Navarrete. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And then the synopsis reads, after breaking the mysterious one-wish willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, I highly recommend going to see it. I mean, like I went into the trailer knowing the impressions of this movie and how much people liked it, and how like well it's done at the festival cycle. And so I went into it already with like high expectations, and generally the trailer really got me. Like I want to see this in theaters because of how good the trailer was, and I'm like, this looks fantastic. The idea of like him having this like one wish thingy that he kind of cracks open and like he wishes for his crush's heart. Like he wants his crush to fall in love with him, and she does. The wish comes true, but it's like it becomes like too obsessive, and it becomes like really like it looks like in the trailer some like scary, dark, sinister stuff happens, even some like paranormal stuff as well. And it seems awesome. It seems really scary. It seems like a really cool, fun, original idea. I'm really looking forward to Obsession. I will definitely be seeing this in theaters. So yeah, cannot wait for that. Alrighty, on to the next weekend, May 22nd, we've got The Mandalorian and Grogu. This is being directed by Jon Favreau. Obviously, I don't even need to say what Jon Favreau has done. He's done a ton of movies. But I believe this is his first Star Wars movie he's directing, which is pretty cool. It is starring, obviously, Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian, but also the cast includes Sigourney Weaver and Jeremy Allen White, Jeremy Allen White plays, I believe, Jabba the Hutt's son or like grandson or something, just someone related to Jabba the Hutt or another Hutt, which is kind of funny. The synopsis reads, the evil empire has fallen, but Imperial warlords remain scattered throughout the galaxy. As the fledgling New Republic works to protect everything the rebellion fought for, they enlist the help of legendary Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin and his young apprentice Grogu. Like most people, I've seen the trailer a million times in theaters now. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not really excited for this one. Okay, just to put it out there already, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've seen all the Star Wars movies. I like most of them. Obviously, the latest few have been terrible, like terrible movies. And I honestly don't even love much of the prequel films either. I think some of them are good, some of them are bad, and they each have like bad and good to them all. But I still like Star Wars. I play all the Star Wars video games. I don't watch most of the shows. The only Star Wars shows I've watched are The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, and only the first few seasons of each, just because that's when I first started watching all the shows. And then I don't know what season Mandalorian is on, but I haven't watched the latest season, just because the last season before that, I just was really burnt. I was like, this is terrible. And sadly, the one Star Wars thing that is good, Andor, I've just never gone around to it, that I've heard everyone has said Andor is fantastic, and like I really want to watch it. Like I definitely want to watch Andor one day. I just have never gone around to it yet, but I will soon. I definitely will watch Andor. But everything else Star Wars just not drawn me in. Particularly honestly not a big Star Wars fan, and so this movie doesn't really draw me, and I'm so tired of The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like, I don't care about Baby Yoda anymore. I don't care about Grogu at all. I think it was funny and cool when it was first came out with season 1. It was really iconic, it was really cool, it was a big thing for good reasons, obviously. But now I'm just tired of it. I want something new, I want something different. That's why, at least with like Star Wars Starfighter coming out next year, with like Ryan Gosling, it's something new, it's something different. I'm interested in that because it's unique, it's different. It's something we maybe haven't seen yet in Star Wars. This we've seen before, and I've been kind of just almost burnt out from The Mandalorian, the last season I watched, where it's just all side quests, and that's all it was. And I'm worried that this is just going to be side quest the movie, and it's not really gonna do much, and it's not going to be great, and it's going to be kind of so. I'm not really interested in seeing it. I don't know if I'm going to see this. I can't believe I'm saying this, because even though I love Star Wars, I still see every Star Wars movie in theaters. I can't believe I'm saying that I might not see the Mandalorian and Grogu in theaters, but that's just not that much excitement for it. I want Star Wars to be better. I want them to do more original and different stuff in Star Wars and not just stick to Baby Yoda all the time, because I'm bored of it. I'm tired of it. I'm burnt out from it. And so, yeah, we'll see. I believe it came out today or a few days ago that it's projected to earn like 80 million opening weekend, which is good for like any other movie and good for like a TV movie basically, but terrible for a Star Wars film, like really bad for a Star Wars movie, like the worst ever for a Star Wars film, which is not great, not a good sign, honestly. And I think it kind of just shows there's a much bigger slowdown in Star Wars than, they would like for. And hopefully movies like Star Wars Starfighter can kind of bring that back up, because I would love to see like that movie be good. It's just personally for me, Mandalorian Grogu, I have absolutely no excitement, no interest in it whatsoever. I've seen all the trailers. They recently released like a clip from the movie where it's like they're like in like a Star Wars like speeder, and they're being chased by the bunch of stormtroopers, and it looked terrible. It was not funny. The jokes did not land. It got older really fast, and it just looked bad. I was like, wow, that if I wasn't already excited for this movie, that trailer, or that clip, like maybe like I don't want to see this in theaters. Like I don't want to waste my time with it, to be honest with you. Though I hope it is like I still hope it is good, so it can kind of prove like, oh hey, Star Wars is still back, and just because maybe the TV show wasn't as good, it's not like side quest the movie, but that's just my fear going into it. So yeah, that's Mandalorian Grogu, and that's just my opinion personally on it all. I'm sure, and if you are excited for the man, I totally respect you being excited. And honestly, I wish I was excited for it. So I'm happy that maybe some of you guys are excited for it, and I respect that totally. Alrighty, on to the final weekend of the month. And the final two movies I'm going to talk about in this video. First one is The Breadwinner, and this is being directed by Eric Appel. It is starring Nate Bargatze, Kumail Nanjiani, Mandy Moore, and Will Forte, and the synopsis reads, starring record-breaking comedian Nate Bargatze in his first feature film, The Breadwinner is a family comedy that follows the misadventures of Nate Wilcox, whose wife, Katie, played by Mandy Moore, lands a once-in-a-lifetime deal on Shark Tank that takes her on a prolonged business trip, and now the lifelong breadwinner has to fend for his family as the first-time stay-at-home dad. With 3 young daughters and little experience handling their day-to-day needs, Nate finds out quickly that running the household is the toughest gig he's ever had. This sounds terrible. The trailer looks terrible. This movie looks like miserable. Yeah, it doesn't look good. I will definitely not be seeing this in theaters. I don't know if anyone's going to be seeing this in theaters. I don't think this is going to do well in the box office. I don't think it's going to do well in reviews either. It's just kind of one of those films where it's like, this is really dumb. It seems really out of touch. It seems dumb. And yeah, it seems like a film that would do fantastic, both critically and commercially, in like the early 2000s or like the 90s or something like that. Because there were movies like this in like the 90s that did really well and were well beloved. But in the 2020s, like the late 2020s, no, this is going to do terribly. This is horrible. This feels out of place in today's day. So, yeah, The Breadwinner by Nate Bargatze looks horrible. Definitely will not be seeing this, but maybe some of you guys will, and definitely if you see it, let me know what you think of The Breadwinner at the end of this month. But the final movie I want to talk about, and I want to save one of the coolest for last, and one of the ones I'm most interested for last, and that is The Backrooms, coming May 29th. This is being directed by Kane Parsons, who wrote the original creepypasta for the Backrooms sort of thing that made it into so big, of like the liminal spaces and the creepy people in the backrooms being chased by them and all stuff. And he wrote it, and he made a deal with A24 to direct a movie for them, which is insane. Like, first time directing. He's like a kid, like in his like early 20s, I think, and he's directing a backrooms film from A24 starring Renata Reinsve and Chiwetel Ejiofor. Like, an insane cast, like two actors that I love and I think are so talented and so fantastic, and two also both, I believe they're both Oscar nominated actors, and he's directing it, and that's awesome. That is so cool. I seriously, like, congrats to Kane Parsons, because that is an insane achievement to be able to do that for your first ever directorial debut. And who knows if he's gonna maybe direct other films that aren't Backrooms related to the future after this, if it does well, because I've heard, obviously, like, test screenings and stuff, and people online have said this movie is really, really good, like shockingly good, which is awesome to hear. Like, obviously, if you can get people like Renat Reinsve to sign on, obviously the script's got to be fairly good, and so I have a lot of hope in this film. I think it's going to be really, really good, both critically and also it's going to do really well commercially. Like, it was such a huge thing years ago with the whole liminal spaces Backrooms, and it still is a pretty big thing. And so I feel like people are going to show up in droves for this film. Just as I don't even need to read a synopsis, but a quick synopsis is: it follows a therapist investigating a mysterious alternate dimension, an endless yellow walled labyrinth, after a patient disappears into it. Yeah, this film, at least the trailer, looks awesome. It looks really scary, it looks really interesting. They've really, like, building the whole Backrooms in real life, the whole set and all that stuff. It looks awesome. Yeah. I'm definitely excited for this one. I'm going to be seeing this in the theaters. Super, super looking forward to this one, and I think it's going to do really, really well. I think it's going to be one of the better movies of the month. But yeah, that is all of the movies, or at least the biggest films, that I wanted to highlight coming out in May of 2026. Some good, some bad, some mixed. Some we'll just have to wait and see. In terms of what I'd say are, like, some of the ones I'm most excited for, I think the one I'm most excited for is probably Devil Wears Prada 2, just because I really like the first one, and I've heard that this is a legacy sequel done right, which I always like. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I think other than that, the one I'm most excited for, probably Mortal Kombat 2, just because, again, this is a video game. This is also a video game channel just as much as it is, or even more than it is, a movie channel, and it is a video game adaptation. So super excited for it. Definitely looking forward to it. I enjoyed the first one as much as you could enjoy it, so I'm hoping that the second one is even better. But yeah, that is going to be all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below what movie you are most anticipated for May 2026. If there's a movie that I maybe didn't mention that you are in particular looking forward to, and what are you most excited for? What are you going to see in theaters, and what can you not wait for? Because there's a few on here that I'm, like, really excited. Obviously not the best month for movies in my opinion. There's definitely been better months. Like, I think, like, getting into June and July is definitely be better for movies, but hopefully we'll have some good hits, and hopefully The Mandalorian and Grogu is good. I'm really hoping it's good, but who knows? I'll have to wait and see. So thank you so much for watching. Just for some quick sort of housekeeping, should have a video on the channel this Sunday for a news video. Hoping to. If not, I'll do the same where I'll record it on Saturday and put it out on Sunday. But just, yeah, I want to have another video on the channel for news, as it's something I like to do, and it's something I want to get back to. And there's been a ton of news this week, especially a lot of video game adaptations again. So I have to talk about that. And a cool trailer that released today for Resident Evil. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, or if you have, let me know in the comments below what your thoughts on the Resident Evil trailer. I'll talk about it a bunch on the news video on Sunday. But yeah, it's my most anticipated film of the year, and it's really cool that we finally got a trailer for it. Finally. So yeah, that'll be all for today's video. Next week, look forward to maybe a Devil Wears Prada 2 review, and definitely a Saros review. I'm playing it. I started playing it last night. As soon as I'm done editing and uploading this video, I'm going to get right back to playing Saros again. I'm really liking it so far. I don't want to spoil too much. Obviously, I'm only like 2 hours in. I haven't even gone past the first boss yet, but it's really, really good so far, at least from what I've played. So yeah, I'll have to wait and see my full opinion and review on Saros, most likely Thursday, definitely not Tuesday. I need time. I want to finish the game, or at least get close to finishing it, to put a review out for it, and that won't be until probably next Thursday, as it is a long game, or at least fairly long. So that's going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.